Hey y'all, welcome back to the podcast. You're with Maddie and Macy. We're so excited because this week we're going to be doing a Bachelor recap. So Macy and I are avid watchers of The Bachelor. I liked Clayton, and we're going to get Macy's take on the season. I mean, they had a lot of chaos, a lot of turmoil. I mean, let's just throw a name out there on the count of three who was the devil this season. I'll go first, Shanae. So we're going to be talking about her. We're going to be talking about sweet, sweet Susie. And we're going to be talking about Clayton. And I'm so excited to have Macy on. And she's one of my good friends from college. And she's been on the podcast once or twice. So she knows how this goes. So I'll let her introduce herself. And then we will get started, y'all.
Hi, I'm Macy. I'm Maddie's friend from college. We ran cross country and track together, and I currently live in the same apartment complex as Maddie.
We're literally Zooming right now. Like, how sad is that our schedules couldn't match up, that we could do this in person? We're 4 doors down from each other Zooming.
Yeah, and I'm currently an elementary PE teacher, and I'm an avid Bachelor watcher.
I know Macy would text me and I'd be like, girl, I need to watch it the next day. Like, I need ooh, my mic. Yes, literally we love it. We honestly used to have Bachelor watching parties. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, those are the best.
Those were the best.
You know, there's no watching included. We just
talk. I think that's probably why we stopped. We literally would be like, okay, we're gonna watch, and then someone would say something, be like, oh, I have a story. Oh, let me tell you about this. Oh, did you hear about this person? Like, literally, there was no watching. It was funny. It was a good time though.
It was.
Okay, so let's just start off simple. Who were you rooting for from the beginning?
I was definitely rooting for Susie because I thought she seemed like sweet and cute, and like she just seemed like a genuine person that she's there for the right reasons.
Okay, I was also rooting for Susie. Literally loved her from the beginning. My sophomore year roommate cracks me up, Caroline. If you're watching this, I love you. But she would always like look up the 4 that would like be in the final 4, and then she would like watch their progression throughout the season. So it was so funny. So when we were rooming together, she would do that, and at first I was so confused on what she was doing, but then she was like telling me about it, and it actually like makes a lot of sense. But so I like now I do it, and I hate myself when I do it because then I'm like, oh, but I loved it. But I first said Susie, and then when I saw that she was in the final 4, I was literally so excited. Because I, like you said, she's just so genuine, and I feel like on this show you have to be genuine and you have to know what you want, but you also have to stand up for yourself.
Yeah, but before it was even Susie coming back, I really liked Rachel. I thought Gabby was nice too, but I really liked Rachel.
Rachel was good too. I liked Rachel because I feel like she stood up for herself.
I feel like her and Susie had very similar like qualities.
Yeah.
Personalities.
Yeah. And
I had a really hard time keeping them apart at first.
I know. Well, at first you meet all 30 women and you're like, who is who? Like, what the heck is happening? So like, what did you think about Clayton? Because I heard not many people liked Clayton.
I liked him. I didn't really necessarily think he was boring. I thought he was like a moderately attractive guy, but I thought that he was like tricky towards the end. Like I thought he seemed very like genuine there for the right reasons all the way through the season. And then like when he had that one episode where he blew up on Susie, I was like, okay. Or when he wasn't believing all the girls in the house, I was like, I'm not sure.
We're gonna talk about that because literally that gave me like bad vibes. I was so mad because I'm like, literally, she threw the trophy in the pond. What sociopath does that?
We're fighting over shrimp.
Oh, I love that episode. She's like, no one was eating my shrimp. And I'm like, girl, you got more fish to fry than people eating your shrimp.
Exactly.
So like, what's your take on Shanae? Like, why do you think she acts the way she does?
I think she acts the way she does because she's not confident. Like I think she acts confident, but it's just like a show. She really isn't truly confident.
Well, and like you watch her on camera and then you go and watch her confessionals and it's like two different people. It's interesting to me because like those kinds of people are what ruin the show and why the show has a bad vibe, because a lot of people don't watch The Bachelor or The Bachelorette or Bachelor in Paradise or anything because of girls almost like Shanae, and I'm all for building girls up, but I'm also like I want people to know like that her behavior on the show is not okay. Like throwing a trophy over a guy, you will never get that guy if you do that,
I also wonder if like when they were trying to figure out like who they should allow on like as the contestants, I'm wondering if the producers were like can you be this girl for us? Like
I,
can you act this way so that we can have like a big story?
I wonder if they always choose one person so they will have a storyline so the ratings go up because it's all about ratings. Like if your show doesn't do well, like you're booted
And there's
off.
tons of crazy people in the world. Like there's bound to be
Oh,
one crazy person. But some of it
exactly.
I felt like Clayton was like, okay, she's absolutely absurd. And then like the producers were probably like, well, you can't get rid of her yet.
I know because she's the only because normally I feel like there's two crazy ones and they're besties and they stand up for
Yeah.
each other. But this season I felt like it was really only Shanae digging her own grave. What do you think?
Yeah. And I think it would have been, I think the show would have progressed too fast because everyone was so nice and like he was building good relationships that if they didn't have her to like stir up the pot, then they wouldn't have had enough episodes or like long enough of episodes.
True.
So I don't know. I feel like she was an actress.
You think that's her secret identity?
Yeah, I don't think she was really a contestant.
How cool would it be if Susie came on the pod and gave her take? Because she's been doing a lot of podcasts with Clayton now. And I'm sorry if you guys like don't watch and we're spoiling it for you. Surprise, surprise. Susie wins. God bless America. All is right in the world. I can sleep. Like literally, I'm such a Susie like advocate. Like I love everything about her. Like she's sweet, she's genuine, she's Southern, she's from Virginia Beach. She's like cute as a little button. Like any like mom would want their son to be with her,
Yeah, I just hope that they work out because I love Tasia and Zach, and then they didn't work out, and that was really upsetting.
I wonder what statistic, sorry, pollen is getting to me. I wonder what statistic of like percentages of like how many couples make it.
I think I've looked it up before, and there's only been like one or two that end up actually getting married and like having a life.
Mm-hmm. I thought Tasia and Zach were gonna make it too, and that really. But
because they both seem like genuine people to me. But so it'll be interesting.
But we also need to define genuine. Like everybody has their own definition of genuine. So I wonder if like what we see on camera is half of it because the producers cut it. Like I'm sure Shanae's interviews were a lot longer than they were.
Yeah.
And I bet they snipped and clipped as.
I bet she also had nice moments too.
But they're like, no, we need a villain.
Yeah. Like, because I'm sure, I mean, everybody blows up like Clayton did that one time. And like everybody was like, that's really bad. But if you think about it, we've all had a moment where we were like, oops.
Yeah, definitely me. Definitely me. Like what do you think about Shanae like saying like her apology tour? And then
I don't think it was true. Well, there's that word genuine again. It wasn't genuine because when she's saying it, she's finding a way to like never admit that she was wrong. And she never truly apologizes. She's just like, that's what you want to think.
And that's gaslighting. Would you say that's gaslighting or no?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out like what gaslighting is because I feel like everyone uses the term very differently. But she's basically refusing that she's wrong to build herself up and to tear others down. So yeah, if that's what gaslighting is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and when she says you're wrong, I'm right, that's kind of gaslighting because that's not a true apology. A true apology is owning your shit, like owning what you say. Like if Macy and I were in a fight and I'm like, Macy, like my actions were not okay. I'm so sorry. Like I hope you can forgive me. That's a genuine apology. But if I go, I'm sorry for how you're feeling. That's gaslighting you, because then
Yeah.
it's gonna make you feel like you're in the wrong. And I feel like all season she was gaslighting, because she would say one thing to the camera, and then in her confessionals, she would be like, I just played these bitches, like, you know?
Yeah, and she was lying so much on top of all her apologies that her story was changing, and then it wasn't even like then she was just digging herself into more lies, and we all know that the more you lie, the bigger the hole you dig yourself into, so
Yeah, we don't like liars on the pod, so
no
know
liars.
that. Know that. Um, no, but I just like cannot get over what just had like the 2-in-1 date. Let's
Oh,
unpack that.
okay.
Like, because that's really never really happened, I feel like.
Yeah, that's weird,
Well, I mean,
and
like, what do you think about that? Like, let's go in detail. Like, for maybe someone who didn't watch, like, tell us what happened on the date, or can you remember?
wait, the one where, like, they met their parents in the same day?
No, the 2-in-1 date with Genevieve and Shanae, and he wrote that like that really like
Oh.
aggressive note. He didn't even say love Clayton on it. Like, let's
Oh,
unpack that scene, because I feel like that really sets the tone for the rest of the season.
yeah, so basically, he knew there was drama between the two, and he was like, "Well, I need to figure out, like, I need to solve the issue." And instead of solving it in the right way and maybe talking to them individually and spending time with them separately, he put them together on a boat. And then he heard
I would
each
jump off that boat
story.
real fast. If I
Yeah.
was like the producer behind the camera, I'd be like, y'all suckers are to yourself.
Yeah, and then he heard both people's side, and at first I really thought he was believing what Shanae was saying and that he was going to take her side. But then I felt like she was making it even more obvious that this was a game to her, and he finally just kicked her off, and I was floored though. I was like, there's no way she's going.
I mean,
But
the
you don't
fact
go on
that,
a date with two people who currently hate each other. That just sounds like you're gonna make the situation worse.
yeah, it's almost like it's almost like when your mom would put you and your sister in a room when you guys were like literally fist fighting, and
Yeah.
then like you're just going at it, beating the shit out of each other, and your mom's like, figure it out. You can't come out until you figure it out,
Yeah.
kind of thing. I feel like the boat situation was like that, because they had literally nowhere to go. One was
Yeah.
gonna go overboard if Shanae started, you know. And I think
I also
Jenna,
feel like it's weird that they went on a date like that because when they hang out in like the big group dates, like it's kind of just like they're all hanging out together. The girls are hanging out, the boy is hanging
yeah,
out with all the girls, like it's whatever. But when you go on just the three of you, then it's like one of them is always a third wheel.
yeah,
It was like one of the girls was constantly third wheeling. It was like they took turns who was third wheeling. And
really.
that's annoying.
Yeah, it's just like awkward, because I feel like Genevieve has this, like, not in a bad way. I'm team Genevieve. Like, I feel like she has a strong personality, so she will call you out, and like not trying to be a mean way, but just trying to be like, hey, own it. Let's move on. And I feel like
Yeah.
Shanae would never own it. So therefore that created drama within the group, you know?
I feel like Genevieve was really sweet and like I feel like she was tough, but she was sweet. But like he couldn't ever get to know her sweet side because she had all this she was dealing with that was just making her mad. And no matter how much she tried to like fight for herself, he was like still believing Shanae.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess you always have to have a villain in a story, you know?
Yeah.
Like it
I
just
feel like
it
at that point,
at that point you just need to kick her off and just call it a day, or just kick both of them off.
I was about to say at that point the connection was gone with either of them because
Yeah.
they had
Didn't
all that.
Genevieve get kicked off the next episode?
Yeah, so they might as well have just gone together.
Yeah. Gone
And
aboard.
not
See you
even gone
later.
on a double date, triple date, third wheeling.
I would be pissed. And then you're stuck in a room with her, like during the group date. That was so awkward.
I know.
So
So
awkward.
weird.
Well, let's unpack it's the same episode, episode 5, if you guys were wondering. Let's unpack the roast. What did you think about people roasting Shanae when she wasn't there? Do you think that was appropriate, or do you think they should have just let it go and really just roasted who was in the room?
Um, I mean, I think the activity was stupid. Like,
You
I don't,
do?
I don't think that they should have just like been roasting people unless it was truly supposed to be funny.
Well, have you heard of like people doing roasts before, like that? Like
You're
it's
talking about the episode where they each individually went up and like
yeah, with that comedian and Clayton and Jesse Palmer were sitting there.
Yeah, like I still think I think it was funny and it was entertaining, but like some of those girls were really meaning what they were saying. And like that was still hurting somebody if they took it to heart.
True.
I don't really think I think that roasting is a bad activity because I don't ever think it's good to go up and say something bad about a person. Like if you're not going to go up and like I feel like that's the wrong in the world right now. If you're not going to go up and lift somebody up or like empower them, then you probably just shouldn't say it at all. I feel like it was an activity to like tear people down.
Sorry, that's like bothering me. No, I get that point, yes, but I feel like also like roasting for like fun or like for views or for like in this instant like a group date was like supposed to be funny and light and like not serious. And I feel like if you do it with the right people, like if we had like a friend roast and it was someone's birthday and that's what they wanted and we would all just go up there and roast them. Like let's say it's my birthday and I just wanted us to all like drink at the apartment and roast and do fun little PowerPoints. Like I think that would be fun, but like
I would hate that.
see,
I would
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm also working not on taking things to heart. So I think that's why maybe roasts are fun because that's something I am working on daily. But like
yeah, I think roasting is just not good. Like we just probably shouldn't.
If you take it the wrong way, I totally get that. If you take it the wrong way, it can be like very catastrophic and rude and stuff. So I'm guessing you didn't see the Bryce Hall roast.
I don't think so.
Okay, it's on YouTube. Look it up after this and text me what you think. Bryce Hall just recently did a roast and it was on YouTube, and Josie Canseco, I think I'm pronouncing her last name wrong, was there. So was Tana and Josh and the Sway House was there. But they all were roasting Bryce for fun. And it was comical. It was really funny. So y'all need to go watch it. But I totally get Macy's point as well,
Yeah, it's probably just from being a teacher and like hearing what my kids like say about each other all the time. Like they never have anything, like I never hear somebody actually say something nice about another person. Anytime someone's telling me something or talking to their classmate, they're saying something bad. Like there isn't ever like good conversation. So I feel like when the kids like watch that type of stuff,
it's reinforcing their behavior.
Okay. Yeah, that it's funny to like to talk like pick on somebody for the way that they do certain things. Like even if it is like they find it funny, like people can roast me about my obsessive cleaning, but at some point like enough is enough because it's my quality.
True. I totally get that. And I like how you like kind of persuaded me to go on your side about it. Look at you.
I don't know. I feel like it's just the way that like we do like trends. And like we need to make
right now it's a trend to roast people. Yeah,
and I think it's a stupid like immature trend.
Yeah, no, I totally get your point. What was the date? Oh, the birthday party date when Shanae literally went over and just had one-on-one time with Clayton. It was like at the very beginning of the season.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that date with Hillary Duff?
Oh yeah.
What do you think about that? That really sets Shanae up for the turmoil of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think she was always looking for her spot to like weasel her way in to like get extra time or to get him on her side, or like even when she was speaking to him, it was like she was like twisting his mind.
No,
like anytime anyone else was talking to him, she found a way to like get in there and like steal all of his attention and twist the way that like almost make him like her.
Yeah, no, I get that. Well, that concludes the Shanae topic because I'm tired of hearing about her and I'm excited for Susie and Clayton, and I hope they like live happily ever after, they get married and all that stuff. You're on TikTok, right?
Yes.
Have you seen Susie's TikToks?
Yes, they're dancing. They're so cute.
They're so cute. And
Yeah, I
they're
think
not that
she
far
is
from us,
way more
Macy.
funny than we think she is.
Huh?
I think she's way more funny than we think she is.
Oh, I think the show like dimmed her. Like
Yeah,
seeing her content now makes me laugh so hard. Like I love her content.
yeah. Well,
And
I
I feel
think
like she's
seeing her
truly
content
herself.
now makes us realize why he was like dying to get her back and like why he thought she was the one. Because like we really didn't see much of her. I felt like.
I felt like we saw a good bit of her, but I felt like the last 3 episodes we saw a lot of her.
Yeah, I feel like I saw a lot more Gabby and Rachel than I ever did Susie.
So let's unpack Susie. So like what do you think about him like telling Gabby and Rachel that he's done with them, that he's breaking up with them? What do you think about that? Because like at the same time.
Yeah, that was
That was
rude. That was
crazy.
disrespectful. I think that was disrespectful. I think that, I mean, he kept saying like each one of their relationships was separate and different. He had different things with each of them, but then he like treated it as in one when he broke it off.
Yeah.
And I was
And
like,
then it probably makes Gabby and Rachel feel like, oh, you just said I love you just to take me to this fantasy suites, you know?
yeah. And I would have been so mad.
Oh, I would have been so mad. Like, it's almost like a Peter and Hannah B situation in the windmill.
Yeah, and Gabby was literally on her way out and he begged her to stay and then the next day sent her home. So
Yeah,
I'm just
that
like,
was crazy.
I think he should have just gone with his gut instinct when he was having his whole breakdown when he met them like at that place when he had to like give out the final rose. I think he just should have let them both leave at that time. He shouldn't have made either of them stay any longer.
No. And I
Because he
think
already knew what he
he should have
wanted.
been honest with Susie about sleeping with them in a respectful way. Because I also don't think he did that in a respectful way. I
Yeah,
think it
no.
was very, honestly, kind of misogynistic,
Yeah.
in my
And
opinion.
and instead of hearing what she had to say about it, he was just immediately defensive.
Yeah. And that's kind of gaslighting in a sense. Again, there's multiple terms and multiple definitions for gaslighting, but like if you love her, you need to take ownership of it. And I think when he went back to her, he did. And thank goodness, because they're like adorable together. Like I'm a Clayton stan. I love
Yeah.
him. I like him a lot. But I think watching that episode was like triggering almost because the way he was treating Susie was absurd. Like she had been through the whole
Yeah.
season with him, you know?
And she kept saying like, she was like, no, 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 like I understand, or like I hear you, I'm listening. I like
Those
don't
are
know.
those are good words to use when
Yeah.
you're trying to have a conversation with somebody.
And he was just like, no, like you don't understand, you don't get it, like look it out. And I felt like she was like, no, I'm really trying to like think about in this and understand your side because I like don't know if this is something that's too important for me. And instead he was just like, then get out.
When he said then get out, I was floored.
But like,
I think my mouth dropped to the floor, and I was like, what? Like I don't know. It was crazy. And then the fact that like he went after her, it was
yeah.
just all like so crazy. And like I'm so
I'm
glad it
glad
worked.
she made him think about it real hard for a long time and like suffer through it.
He did.
'Cause I
Wait,
think
what'd you say?
I'm glad that he or she made him like suffer through it, like wanting her back and like really
Oh
made him
yeah.
like figure it out between those two women. He didn't just like settle for either of them or like choose out of those two because he couldn't get her. Like
Yeah.
I definitely feel better about it that he ended up like the whole time he just stuck to his guns about Susie after he realized.
And my thing is like on a like what talk show was it? I can't remember what talk show it was, but it was like a talk show podcast. She had sat down with the podcast and given an exclusive interview. And she's like, what people don't realize are all the mean comments y'all are like giving me it like for taking him back and blah blah blah. Is like y'all don't realize we've had those hard conversations off camera because half of this happened off camera, you know?
Yeah.
I wish
They
I could
just
remember
couldn't
the
reveal every
podcast
little
name of
word.
it. I can't remember. But if I do, I'll tag it below. But yeah, so we also have to keep in mind, like, after like he got Susie back and the show ended, like they got to like have each other's actual numbers because like they didn't have phones there. So it's like
Yeah.
we don't know like half of it, you know? So it's like
Yeah.
that's why like I was upset with Clayton when I saw the episode, but you know, I give grace and look, they're like together, you know? And also we
Yeah.
don't know half of it. Like we don't even know what half of it was like filming because they cut half of it or more,
Yeah.
you know?
And also, I think it's now the reason that they don't ever work out is because when they meet and date, they're in like this unreal world where they don't work or like, they don't really have to deal with their everyday stressful life. Like
Yeah.
they're just there to date each other. And then now
They
they're
also like
dating each other with everything else.
yeah, and they also have to go back and like what if one of them lives in Arizona and one of them lives in like Clayton, he lives in Missouri, she's from Virginia Beach and lives there. That's like two opposite sides of the earth because I've been to Missouri. You know, it's different there, not in a bad way, but like it's just different. Like LA is different from North Carolina, you know?
Yeah.
So I
I
think it
know.
like takes a lot of strategic like planning. And like how awkward is it to be like engaged and then like or dating after the show and then have to ask for the other person's number?
Yeah. And a lot of people aren't just willing to like give up everything they have in one spot, at least at like upper 20s, like early 30s. These people aren't just like they have jobs and like places that they already live. They may have already invested in a house. Like they have to like give up their whole thing they've worked for so far.
Yeah, I
And
know.
really they just got started.
I know. It's like so crazy. It's honestly like backwards.
Yeah.
Because you like they go to all these fun destinations. If I was dating someone, I would not go to a fun exclusive like resort in Canada.
Yeah.
Like only like a couple weeks into dating, you know? That's a trip I would
Yeah.
take maybe like at my 1 year, maybe even 2 year, you know? So I feel
Yeah.
like they do it
People are
back.
gonna go to a coffee shop or a dinner date.
Yeah. Go to Immediate.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I love this season and I'm really excited for 2 bachelorettes. I feel like we should end with a good note. Susie and Clayton are together and we have 2 bachelorettes, which has never happened in Bachelor history.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think it's gonna be interesting, but I definitely like I think they're both sweet girls and everything, but I don't foresee them being friends at the end
Yeah,
because
what if they
two
fall?
girls fighting over one guy never goes well.
Well, like, what if? Oh, Keenan's joining us. Hold on. Awkward interlude, like music. Dun, 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 dun,
Okay,
dun.
hi, sorry.
Hey, girl. I
Sorry.
love how you're like entering now. So we're just kind of like concluding, and we're kind
Okay.
of like talking about like the 2 bachelorettes, Gabby
Okay.
and Rachel.
Okay.
Like that's gonna be interesting because like, what if they fall for the same guy?
Drama.
Like, what do you think?
Okay, well,
She's just coming in full force. Let's go.
I'm the worst person in the world. I don't know too much about The Bachelor, and I'm not all the way caught up. I apologize. So I need a little background.
So like, let's recap everything we just talked about in like 20 minutes. So basically, Rachel and Gabby were like basically duped at the end. Like they were like made it to the end, and then Clayton was like, "Oh, I'm actually choosing Susie," and broke up with them at the same time in the same room.
Oh my gosh.
And Susie had already been sent home, and then
Yeah.
he decided he wanted her back.
Yeah. So
Wow.
there's the tea. And
This
so
is
then
great.
they announced that there's gonna be 2 bachelorettes, and this has never happened before. So I was saying, like, what if they fall for the same guy?
Wait, this is
Awkward with the
Because
guy.
awkward.
It's 2 bachelorettes and they're going to be dating the same people, whereas previously they've done it where there's 2 bachelorettes and after the first night the guys get to pick who, like, the woman that stays, or vice versa. Like the girls pick which guy they want to be the bachelorette. Like if like they'll like vote, like they'll do the meet and greet, and then like all of the contestants will vote.
So now they're like picking 2.
So now there is no picking. Both girls stay and the same guys date those two girls the whole time.
Wait, that's wild.
It's like, yeah, I know.
And I told Maddie that it never ends well when two girls are fighting over one guy.
No, it never ends well. It never ends well. Wow, that's crazy. And this is the first time that's ever happened?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, okay, I definitely need to get caught up. Crazy. Yeah, I can't imagine fighting over one guy.
I know.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Or a bunch of guys fighting over two girls at the same time, because what if they like both girls?
Yeah.
Because obviously in this show you can like more than one person at the same time.
Right.
It's gonna be chaos, but I'm honestly here for it.
Yeah. It's entertaining.
And yeah, it's entertaining probably because it's not my life. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if I was on it, I would be like low-key pissed because I'm like, wait, I have to compete against another girl.
Yeah.
Like, what would it be? But I'll watch you.
This show would make me cry.
Keenan's very emotional.
Yes, I am.
Keenan the other day, we were texting about something and she's like, I mean, I just started crying. And I was like, same. Same.
Like 7 out of 10 of the time I'm crying. But it's okay.
Yeah, I'm getting so sick.
I cry a lot.
Comes in,
just
like my mic is like half working. That would have echoed real loud into the mic. Well, Macy, like, do you have anything else?
No, we'll just have to see where this adventure goes.
Thank you for
the best.
I know. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for your time. I love you and miss you.
I love the pod.
I need to go knock on your door randomly and see Maple.
Yes.
Oh, Maple, I miss Maple.
Sweet Maple, literally. Well, thank you again so much for coming on. I hope you guys loved the episode of The Bachelor Recap. Hopefully we will be doing these a lot more with other shows. So if you have a show you want to recap on, go comment below. Thank you so much. And go like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you guys get all the notifications and don't miss a beat, because we are coming in full force with new content. All right, y'all, have a great night. Bye.